Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, race number 9 at Santa Anita on Santa Anita Derby Saturday is the Grade 3 Providencia Stakes for 3-year-old fillies traveling 1 1/8 on the turf. You know the drill by now. First post bonus, DRF bets, prep Saturdays. You know the drill. Bet $25 to win on one horse in race number 1. Win or lose, you get a $10 bonus whether you're betting at Santa Anita, Aqueduct, or Keeneland. DRF bets, ready, set, bet. I'm ready. I'm getting set, and I will bet the Grade 3 Providencia, race number 9 at Santa Anita. Let's take a look at this field. The 2 is Lady Prancelot, coming off a win at 1 mile on February the 1st. I thought she got a great pace set up that day. I thought they were cooking the first quarter of 1 mile or so.
No, I agree, and Timeform US does too. All those interior splits and the early splits as well, color-coded red. I look at a horse like Lady Prancelot. She's 7-2 on the morning line, second choice. And I go, you've run 10 times. When are you going to start to improve? Now, the dangerous thing for someone like myself looking at it like that is even if she doesn't improve, she's arguably the horse to beat in here. I don't know how many of these girls are all that good. I understand it's a wide open race. She can take some opportunities, take some chances, maybe fade a short price. I want Lady Prancelot to prove that she's better than what the figures would suggest, and at the price, I just couldn't bet her. Let's
throw up the Timeform US pace projector for the Grade 3 Providencia Stakes because I'm really interested to see where the 1 Apache Princess is going to be. I know Timeform has her in 4th, but her last race, the Cal Cup Oaks, she didn't really break very well as the favorite, and she was kind of taken out of her game. In her prior starts, she's been a lot closer to the pace, and those races were sprints. I can see Apache Princess maybe trying to get aggressive out of the rail draw under Kent DeZormo.
I was going to say, and maybe you're not going out there to streak to the front end, but at least you're forwardly placed, and maybe you can angle out off the rail, stalk, whether it is the 6 horse or whoever else wants to go out to the front. I agree. I think she can be a little bit closer than perhaps the pace projector would suggest, and even where she's been in those recent runs.
Now you see 2 horses lacking pace data. That's because they're European imports. And if you are not fascinated at all with any of the local horses, why not take a shot with a stranger? The 8 Hostess goes out for the high percentage Simon Callahan barn, getting Lasix for the first time. My only issue is her race last time out was over a synthetic track. The 3rd place horse came back to run 2nd, but really none of the other horses in that race have come back to do anything of note. She's got to prove it to me on turf. She's got to prove it to me against this class of competition.
She's also been gone for a long time. It's going to be her first start since the middle of October last year as a 2-year-old. She gets Lasix for the first time, so that's a positive. But I'm kind of with you. To me, it's more of a wait-and-see approach.
And Miss Flawless goes out for Peter Miller, one of the best horsemen in all of Southern California. And she wasn't embarrassed in a group race 2 starts back at Maison Lafitte, but they then wheeled her back in a weak race at Lyon Paris, just sort of like a second-tier racetrack, and she didn't run at all at 3-5. Something tells me that the reason she's here is she wants firm turf, and if she improves drastically on firm turf, maybe she's the sleeper.
Another one coming off of a long layoff. It's going to be interesting to see what you get here first out of the box. I understand you can't always read between the lines as far as riders and trainers and sort of that relationship and how often they ride. I just found it a little bit peculiar that Tiago Pereira doesn't ride very often for Peter Miller. And to me, if she was very, very live in a spot like this, I would be expecting to see one of the riders that normally rides for Miller more often.
Isn't Edwin Maldonado just going to be aggressive with Killarney Lass on the far outside? This is a horse trying turf for the first time. Gate to wire winner last time out at Golden Gate, but he was just able to get an easy early lead. Was Frank Alvarado to go 24-2, 49 to the half, while 2 lengths clear and still just able to hang on. I think really her only chance is to try to get to the lead and hope no one else goes, but it does seem like a tough spot trying turf for the first time.
That outside draw is no bargain. You need to be aggressive to get out of there, try to establish some position. For the turf, I have no idea if that form is going to translate from the synthetic. It's not necessarily an apples-to-apples comparison. And just strictly speaking from a numbers standpoint, she's just too slow.
Matt, I wonder if Truffalino, the Calumet homebred, might have the most upside of any horse in this race. She's only started 3 times in her career. I liked the way she won her maiden 2 starts back, going 1 1/8 last time out. I didn't think she got a great setup in that non-winners of 1 other than race. I think 1 mile might be a little short. Stretching out to 1 1/8 might be just what the doctor ordered for Truffalino. Dick Mandela going well right now. 10-1 on the morning line. I'm definitely using this horse.
I mean, she's so lightly raced. I think you need to take a sort of upside view with her in a race like this, where you've seen a number of these other girls go out there a few times, and they just haven't run all that fast. If you think anybody is capable of taking a step forward, perhaps it is Truffalino. And you brought it up. There have been some decent runners coming out of that most recent run. The fifth-place finisher was the next out winner with a 76.
Laney Midtown, the number 5, appreciated blinkers and might have appreciated a switch to synthetic and a drop in class to Golden Gate Fields to win last time out. It was a visually appealing enough effort, but she's getting thrown right back into the deep end on turf. She's got a lot to prove from a figure standpoint.
Yeah, the turf races leave a little bit to be desired. We'll find out if coming off second off the bench, she's going to be ready to go and take a step forward. Here, she's going to need to if she's going to be considered a top contender.
O'Neill might have a better chance with the 4 Laker Ball, who is already a multiple stakes winner. She won that Pike Place Dancer 3 starts back as the even money favorite. I didn't like the way she hopped back to her left lead at the end of that race, and since then she's disappointed at odds of 5-1 and 9-2 with a couple of layoff lines thrown in. She does have a lot more tactical speed, though, than she showed in her last start.
And she's at least run relatively fast races for this level. I mean, I shouldn't even say for this level, for this race, because this level, I would expect them to start running faster here sooner than later at some point. Those runs as a 2-year-old, they at least suggest that she's capable of something bigger and better, but her recent 2 races, they've both been disappointing.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Providencia Stakes. You were taken by the debut of the 7 Maxim Rate, another one going out for Simon Callahan. 28-1 that day, didn't run like it.
No, I was going to say, and the other thing you need to keep in mind, too, for me, this race as a whole, it's not that I love Maxim Rate. It's just more a matter of she's unexposed, and so many of these other girls, I've been waiting for somebody to take a step forward. None of them really have. I think there's a chance that Maxim Rate, given the fact that she ran as well as she did in the debut, you've had some, iffy quality come out of that. The 4th place finisher came back and earned a 68 in her next start. I just like the fact that there is a little bit of ability here, clearly. You broke your maiden first time out for Callahan. Again, I don't think she's a superstar, but she may not need to be to win a race like this.
Interesting that Bejarano off Colonial Creed and on Laker Ball. I'm not sure that's Bejarano's choice, because when you watch the Blue Northern Stakes, I thought Rafi got a little bit too aggressive entering the far turn, where he probably could have just sat the pocket behind the pace setter, and he tried to make an early move to split horses. He checked. He ended up back in 3rd. Colonial Creed then had to re-rally and was gaining down to the wire, only to get beat a half length. She had a little bit of trouble that day. She might have been best if she was more patiently handled. I liked her win 2 starts back that maiden race. She went fast all the way around the track, taking pressure, and I think Franco has got to just go. Use the Timeform US Pace Projector as the guide. I think this filly has some ability. She did have trouble in her most recent start. The price might not be appealing. 3-1 is probably the lowest I would go, and that's the price on the morning line. Something tells me she'll be shorter than that.
She's at least run relatively fast for this group, because that's really what it boils down to for me. She's earned a couple of 104 raw Timeform ratings in each of the past 2 races. If you expect there to be a forward move here in her first start as a 3-year-old, I think it's safe to imagine a sort of, let's call it a 110 Timeform rating. That puts her somewhere in the ballpark of a 90 buyer. I think that's fast enough to get the job done.
You like Maxim Rate to do it again? Give me numbers.
7, 6, 8, 9.
I'm going to go with the 6 in here. Colonial Creed. I'm hoping for an aggressive ride out of the gate. 6, 3, 7, 10 for me. I want to use the 6, 3, 7 in multiple race wagers. Again, make sure you get involved with the first post bonus presented by DRF Bets. You bet $25 to win on any horse in race number 1 at Santa Anita, Keeneland, and/or Aqueduct. You get a $10 bonus. DRF.com/preps is where you go for the details. And the Providencia has an approximate post time of 4:50 Pacific. Good luck.